I'm a little bit embarrassed by this mistake. It literally cost me hours, and the worst part is it was totally avoidable and 100% my fault. It's something that I did on the last van, but I'm 100% not going to make the same mistake on this van build. Let me show you the mistake. It's something to do with this door. And this panelling along here. Actually, look at that, it's a bit dirty. Excuse the mess. These pesky kids think they can just throw food all over this place. They've got no respect for the camper van. So, what was my mistake that I feel a little bit stupid sharing and was totally my fault and I could have avoided it? This panelling, there's actually nothing wrong with this panelling. It was one of the first panels that I did with the faux leather, so it isn't as refined as some of the other ones, but there's nothing wrong with the actual panelling. The problem was with the order in which I did it. I built the kitchen first. I was so focused about getting the shower in, getting the electrics in, getting the kitchen in, getting all the plumbing in, that I kind of failed to think about paneling the side door, which meant that when I came to do it, I'd already built this little bunk seat. Jenny always tells me off for saying this the wrong way. And I'd already built this kitchen, but that kitchen and that seat cover half of the places where I need to rivet or attach those panels to the sliding door, which meant that it took me literally hours to attach those panels to the sliding door. I couldn't get to them very easily, which meant it made it really awkward to try and get some riv nuts in. And I even had to buy a new riv nut gun, a small handheld one, to help me with it because I couldn't obviously get a large riv nut gun in there. Let me show you what I mean. Van Trim Services did a mega job on trimming this van up. It looks mint. That is the gap that I've got. Look how tight it all fits in there. It's extremely tight. So with the door open, that's how much space I've got. And really it's these bottom ones here, these bottom riv nuts there, and the riv nuts that go all the way down the side to hold the bottom of this panel on and that panel there. And if you notice, I actually ended up only putting in 1, 2, 3 riv nuts on the kind of bottom half of that. Basically left me with about 10-15 centimeters to get tools in. I got it done, so don't do what I did. Instead, make sure you panel this door before you get any of your kitchen units in. And the other thing to think about is, do you need to build your kitchen in a way that it easily allows you to take a panel out of your kitchen to access some of those bolts? It's something I'm thinking about for the new Transit build. To unbolt the lower bolts, I have to basically lay on the floor and get in there with a really small Allen key. Obviously, I can get it off, and it's not too much of a problem taking it on and off now, but it was just the initial case of getting the riv nuts in and getting it all in place. So in this video, I'm not going to be making the same mistake again on the Transit build. So today we're going to be getting that side sliding door suede lined. Actually not suede lined, because I've got another fabric for the inside of the Stealth van, plus a few little other jobs that we need to crack on with the Stealth van. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to our new sponsors, Howden's Modified Van Insurance. Whether you're insuring a finished camper van or you're insuring a van conversion in progress, they will insure your van from the time you buy it to the time that it's a finished camper van. Give Howden's a call and mention a Buck Life, and they will give you a great deal on your van insurance. I can personally recommend Howden's because both of our vans have always been insured with Howden's and currently are. So what are you waiting for? Give them a call. Right, let's jump in the van and I will show you where we're up to. Electrical system is now fully in, and my next big job is the kitchen. I want to get these kitchen units built and installed into the van, along with sort out my heating, hot water, plumbing. That's kind of like the next phase of my build. But before I do that, I need to sort out the sliding door. You can see by my green tape that the kitchen is coming well in front of the doorway, which means if I leave this job till the end, my God, it's going to be a fucking ball ache sorting it out. So we need to template this door, cut out some ply, slam in some riv nuts, bolt our panel down. Let's get some tools. I did do a full detailed video on this a couple of weeks ago. I'll put a link to it up here if you want to check it out. And where are the best scissors in the world? I love all the comments about these as well. Obviously, they're not the best scissors in the world, but they've got to be up there. My favourite comment, life is better with a pair of these scissors. Beautiful day out here. Let's lock ourselves in a tin box. Not making the same mistake again. I'm going to get this done now, get it done nice and early. Going to do it in two parts, bottom half, top half. There's two reasons for that really. One, I just think it will be easier to do it in two pieces. Two, I might actually put a window in up here. Maybe if we sell the van in a year or so for a new project and somebody wants a window in it, I want to leave it as easy as possible for it to be adapted in that way. So I'm going to use these wooden strips, the best scissors in the world. That's hot. Hot glue gun to build myself a couple of templates. Here we go. This is the templating trick that I've been using on the vans for a while now. I simply use a load of wooden strips, the best scissors in the world, and now a cordless hot glue gun. All I'm doing is cutting the strips. I leave them a little bit shorter than they need to do. I don't run them right into the corner, and I just glue them into position onto the door. They shouldn't come off without too much of a problem. However, this may be a problem later. This way I can build up a really accurate template, and we should get a really good fit to this panel that's going in that gap. Bottom half templated. Some people in my other video were saying like, oh, you can just use cardboard. You can just use cardboard. There's nothing wrong with cardboard. I just prefer using these timber strips. I just think you end up with like a more robust template. I want this one to go slightly differently. I don't, because it doesn't have this area to sit within on the top half. It kind of we're gonna have to put some riv nuts into these points here. Let's just have a go and see how we get on. On to the top half of the door, and I'm just using the exact same process once again, but haven't got a kind of area to track. This time I'm going freehand. Places where there's a bit of a curve, what I like to do is just layer up the pieces of wood. This gives me a nice smooth edge which I will be able to trace round. Once I get the basic outline done, then I need to negotiate around these large corners. And for this section I did decide to use some cardboard. Just cutting it out, tracing it round, getting the curve right, taking it off, putting it on. A little bit of trial and error, but in the end we got a really nice curve that matches the profile of the door. Just whilst I finish this bottom section, I wanted to give a big shout out to my mum. She is currently in hospital at the moment. She's just had a really big operation, and I know she'll be watching this on a Sunday morning, so I hope you're feeling better and you'll be out of there soon. Yes, templates are made. Got a few little bits to focus on. Used a little bit of card to get these curves around the doors nice, because I was struggling with the wood just to follow the curve as close as I wanted. We just need to prise these off the door and then slap them on some wood. These should just pop, he says. Pop off. However, it does look like they are leaving a bit of a... Wow, they have really bonded to something. Oh, they might have used a bit too much glue, people. Okay. We're cracking now. There we go. Okay, we're off-ish. Template number 1. Oh, I broke it. It's really sticking well to this van. Yes! Templates produced. The workshop is still got its electrical hangover from the wiring board, so we need to clear that, then we can cut. 3, 2, 1. New day, had a bit of a week from hell. It is currently the day before this video needs to go out. I'm not even sure if it's going to make it this week, but Ginny has been super ill. She's actually been in hospital. So we've not nudged it on from getting the templates made up. Also, look at this climbing wall that we've been making for little man's room. Let's get these cut out. 6mm plywood I'm using for this. Can you fit them both on one sheet? Of course you can't. I'm just marking around those templates. There are a few little adjustments that I need to make, a few little notes I made as I went. It's also worth marking which is the front and which is the back. You don't want to be carpeting the back accidentally. Then I'm just using my track saw and a jigsaw to cut these out. If you're enjoying this content and you love following our builds, do hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to us. And drop us a comment. We always try to get back to all the comments, and if you've got any questions about the build, just let me know. Onto the top panel, and for the larger lines I'm going to be using the track saw to cut this out. And then a little bit more of the jigsaw to get some of those complex curves, make sure that panel is fitting sweet. Happy days, let's get these in the van for a test fit. Biggest panel is the most important. This one. So that is going somewhere around there. Oh yeah. I think we'll get that one on and then worry about the bottom one. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I am saying, people? What you're missing here is a lot of me swearing and failing at doing this. I could not get this panel to stick to the bloody door. Wow, that is hard and annoying with one pair of hands. What I'm trying to do is temporarily just stick it on so I can pre-drill my holes. I can't hold it and glue it, and I can't really tape it because it's absolutely chucking it down outside, because I wanted to tape up over the door. But where there is a will, there is a way, and I will triumph and beat this panel. So about one full glue stick later, we've finally got the panel in position, and I'm just going round marking where I want to drill through into the door for my riv nuts. That was the pilot hole, going in with the 8mm. Don't press too hard or you might hit the door on the other side, which I may have just done. Ooh. Yes. Then we're going in with some primer. Cotton bud. Dab, 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 little dab, 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 and the last dab. Then it is in with the riv nuts. That goes on there. Oh, there we go. Trying not to f these up because I keep smashing the threads apart. I'm just using a riv nut gun and some M6 riv nuts that go into those 8mm holes that I drilled. You compress the riv nut and it clamps itself in position. It then gives you a thread to bolt into. The final one, and I can't get to it even without a kitchen here. I've had to use the shorty. Oh god, that is f***ing tight. Come on, you son of a bitch. Oh, there we go. So even without the kitchen, I still needed the little one just for those bottom ones. Back in the workshop, and I just need to make a slight adjustment to the top panel. The handle was just catching. I wanted a nice tight fit, but I just got it a little bit too tight, so I'm just nipping a little bit off there.
Then I'm just going round the panel with a slightly larger drill bit to drill out the holes which the bolts are going to be going through.
The big reveal. What is the fabric I'm going to be using to line my panels? It isn't suede. I've not gone for suede. And I've not gone for a faux leather. I've gone for this. I don't even know how to describe it. It is from RC Fabrics as well. It isn't stretch, so you wouldn't be able to do kind of any complex shapes or kind of curves with this. What do we think? Let me know in the comments. Is it Scandinavian vibes?
Or have I completely missed the mark? Right, now we are on to some fun stuff, lining these panels out. Now this fabric comes already from RC Fabrics pre-foam backed, so you've not got to put any foam backing down. I'm just spraying contact adhesive on both surfaces and then I'm carefully folding it over. As I go around where there are any curves, what I like to do is just snip out little triangles, which then allows me just to fold it around those curves and get a pretty neat finish. I've done this a few times now and I'm really starting to get the hang of it, and it's actually starting to look a lot better, to the point it's making me want to reline the old van.
It's absolutely p***ing it down and left the roof fan open.
Woo! What I find for these really intricate little sections is to not cut the fabric too close to the edge. I leave about a 1 centimeter gap. That way when you fold it over you can't see any of those cuts. I really recommend doing some trial and error bits on this. It's taken me quite a long time to learn this process.
Just going to take this bradawl and poke through all my holes so my bolts can go through, if we can find them. She's complete. Ta-da! Look at that. Beautiful. Let's get her in the van. Actually, before I put it in the van, I'm just going to burn through those holes with a soldering iron. This is really satisfying, actually. Oh, yeah. Kind of want to get both sides as well. That way the bolt just slips on through. New day. Actually, it's a new week. It's been one of those hectic few days. Ginny has been super ill. She was actually in hospital. She is feeling better, but not 100%. But thank you for all the people that got in touch, messaged me over Instagram, dropped a comment on the last video. It was very kind of you, and she really appreciated your kind words. Bolts are here. Got some 30mm M6 black bolts and some 25mm M6 black bolts, although they look much smaller. They look like 20mm. Let's get this panel in the van. Also, I've just had a massive coffee, so I'm absolutely wired to get this door finished. Right, let's get this in the van. Right, here we go.
Bolts going in. I'm just using some black capped bolts and it just gives a nice finished look to it. I get a couple of bolts in each corner, and if I'm struggling to get one in because it doesn't quite fit through, I just stick the Allen key through, give it a wiggle, and Bob's your uncle, it's a good fit.
She's on. Look at it. Very pleased with that. The colour palette is just bringing a kind of nice, calming and light. Remember, this has got no windows except for that one. Everything in here needs to be reasonably light because we don't want it to feel like a dark box. Next job, offer that panel up, see how it fits against that panel. Then we need to mark where our riv nut holes are, drill them, line it, bang it on. Right, how does this one fit? I think we just need to get 2 of these in. So I've just got these cut off M6 bolts, screw these into the riv nuts, offer my board up, hit it with a hammer. That then shows me exactly where I need to drill. The tricky bit is I've only got 6 of them and I need to mark about 10 holes. Right, offer this up. Oh shit, that's gone all the way through. Too much. Don't hit it too hard. Don't hit it too hard. That's marked the hole. It's actually smashed a hole in it. Now we can just hang that one on there.
Then I quickly repeat that process, going all around the board, tapping the M6 bolts with the hammer, making a mark, drilling them out, moving the bolts around until I've done the whole of that panel.
I'm a bit too heavy-handed. Don't hit it so hard. Done. Right. The next time you're going to see that, it's going to be fully lined and on the wall. 3, 2, 1. Yes! It's in. What do we think of that? Pretty pleased with it. That, I feel like on camera it looks a little bit dull or boring, the colour, but when it's all in, I think it's going to look really nice. Remember, it's all about light, bright, and making the space feel airy because we haven't got any windows. One question I got the other week when I did a bit of paneling was, how do I stop those panels rattling? Well, I'll put a clip in now, but essentially behind that panel there where there's pieces of metal, I've just got some offcuts of that material and glued them around that area. That means the panel, even though it's bolted down nice and tightly, if there is any chance of it rattling, it will not. So, happy days. That was the stupidest mistake I made on the last van build, because I just left that right to the end. That was so much easier doing it now, whilst there's no kitchen, no units along this area. The only one thing that I'm not very happy with is this gap here. So gap all the way along looks good, and then just here could have been a little bit tighter. I was hoping to get more done in this video, a few little extra jobs, but with Ginny being ill and life being chaos, I just haven't managed to get to it. But I'm pleased with the progress we're making. Happy days! Professional van build-ish. Thank you for watching. Thank you to our Patreon members. If you want to join our free Patreon, I upload free helpful documents to that support the videos. Thank you to my Patreon legends, and click here if you want to see another build video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!